Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Our opening ceremony will begin in just about a moment. Assalamualaikum. Check. Is my voice clear? Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Puspa, the point is clear.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
A very good morning from Indonesia to the Rector of Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo, the President of Cameroon or Polytechnic Colleges Philippines, the Rector of University Technology Maret, Malaysia, the President of Yala Rajabat University, Thailand, the Dean of Teacher Training and Educational Faculty of Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo, the lecturers from Cameroon or Polytechnic Colleges Philippines, from University Technology Maret, Malaysia, from Yala Rajabat University, Thailand, and from Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo, Indonesia. The honorable speakers, Dr. Maria Joy C. Iglesia Idian, Dr. Tengku Intan Suzila Tengku Syarif, Assistant Professor Dr. Muhammad Tulan Kaima, Dr. Peter Ohiote, and Dr. Anita Rinawati, and all respectable participants. My name is Puspa Devi, and it's being a great honor for me as the Master of Ceremony, and on behalf of the organizing committee, welcoming each of you today on Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022. We are delighted to send you a very warm welcome to all of you to this opening ceremony on the International Conference on Education and Technology, or ICET 2022, organized by Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo in collaboration with Cameroon Sur Polytechnic Colleges Philippines, University Technology Maret, Malaysia, and Yala Rajabat University, Thailand. We appreciate you taking time of your busy schedule today to join us. We hope you will learn a lot today. We have lined up for you to be fruitful and engaging. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, over the next few hours, this meeting will provide you plenty of opportunities to discuss, share knowledge, and insight about hybrid learning in higher education, issues, opportunities, and challenges as the big issues. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we would like to start ICET 2022 by saying Basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Now we are going to continue to the next session, that is to listen to the national anthems. Indonesia Raya, Lupang Hinirang Negaraku. and playing chat time.
Morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Halanya dicat karo Mbak Miftah kan nang.
To begin this program, we are pleased to have the Rector of Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo to deliver the opening remarks. Please welcome Dr. Rafiq Nur Hadi, Magister Agama.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah Muhammad ibn Abdullah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa mawala. Venerable the keynote speakers, the Vice Rector, Dean, and all faculty member of Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo, and especially all president of our foreign partners universities. Honorable the participant, and the committees of the conference. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First of all, let's thank to Allah, the Almighty God, who have given us blessing and mercy so that we can virtually assemble here in the International Conference on Education and Technology 2022 with the theme of hybrid learning in higher education, issues, opportunities, and challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, in this opportunity, I would like to say welcome to Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo, and also to express my sincere gratitude to everyone who has joined our conference either as speakers or as participants, especially to the speakers, Dr. Maria Jo from Camarines Polytechnic College, Philippines, Dr. Tengku Intan Susila from Universitas Teknologi Mara Pahang, Malaysia, and Assistant Professor Dr. Muhammadul Kemah from Yala Rajabat University, Thailand, Dr. Titi and Dr. Anita from Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo to share their valuable ideas and experience as great scholars. Ladies and gentlemen, during COVID-19 outbreak, all life aspects have changed dramatically, including education in higher learning. The change covers student and teacher attitude in online learning. Also, teacher role is very vital to manage the online learning classroom well. Many agree that learning loss in the foremost problem during online learning practices. Due to this problem, tertiary school teachers need to incorporate elements of online and face-to-face learning. Teachers are required a lot of appropriate tools and facilities in delivering learning materials. Hybrid learning is about finding the right combination for teacher out of the possibilities in learning whether teaching is offline or online. Therefore, I am optimistic that this conference will give a lot of contribution to effort of enhancing our education. In this opportunity, I also want to give my deepest appreciation to the committee and the conference partners who have worked hard to organize this program. And I hope that the experience of organizing this conference will become a valuable knowledge for your life. Ladies and gentlemen, Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo is an established university with 5 faculties: Faculty of Economic, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Faculty of Social Science, Faculty of Agriculture, and Faculty of Engineering. UMP, Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo, intend to strengthen mutual partnership and collaboration with many partners from the quality improvement. Therefore, we welcome all the foreign institutions to collaborate with us as international linkage for conducting student or staff mobility, joint research and publication, and also joint seminar and conference. Finally, to the keynote speaker and all participants, I would like to express my apology if there is any inconvenience during this conference. And on behalf of Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo, I wish you an inspiring and wonderful conference. Ladies and gentlemen, by saying Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, the International Conference and Education and Technology 2022 is officially opened. Have a nice conference and thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Rafiq, for the wonderful remarks. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to give the floor to the primary session. And this session will be led by our moderator, Dr. Tusino. Before we have the main program, may I briefly introduce to you our moderator today. Dr. Tusino is an experienced lecturer who pursued his bachelor degree at Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta, and he achieved his master degree at Universitas Ahmad Dahlan Yogyakarta, and his PhD degree was achieved at Universitas Negeri Semarang, Indonesia. His research interests are on English language teaching, applied linguistics, and teacher professionalism. He is currently assigned as the Director of International Relations Office of Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo. Well, now, please welcome Dr. Tusino. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Puspa, for the time. Good morning, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
First of all, thank you very much to the Rector, the Vice Rector for Corporation Affairs, Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo, for really supporting this webinar, and all distinguished participants from 4 countries, especially from Kamarin Sur Polytechnic colleges and University Technology Mara, Pahang, Malaysia, Yala Rajabat University, and also from Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo. Well, this is really a great and very rare occasion for us to have an international conference on education and technology with 5 great speakers this morning. Those are Dr. Maria Joy, si Iglesia Idian, Dr. Tengku Intan Susila Tengku Sarif, Dr. Anita Rinawati, Assistant Professor, Dr. Muhammad Tolan Kaima, and also Dr. Peter Ohiote. Those 5 speakers are really experienced scholars, researchers, teachers who are expert in their field. Well, as we know, during pandemic here, all aspects, including the education, has to move into online learning. Many schools have to apply the online learning effectively. However, many assume that online learning creates many problems. Say, for example, learning loss, isolation among learners and teachers. And this such kind of topic would be well presented by our speakers this morning. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me read the first great speakers this morning. That is Dr. Maria Joy C. Iglesian. Dr. Maria is a professor in a business program both for graduate school and tertiary education. Her expertise in the field of economics, and she has been teaching profession for business courses for 11 years. She earned her doctorate degree in business administration from Ateneo de Naga University in 2018 and assumed as a college dean designation until she transferred on her current school, Kamarin Sur Polytechnic Colleges, and supposed to be the Polytechnic State University of Bicol. Well, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our first speaker, Dr. Maria Joyce Iglesias Idian. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Tusino, for the very kind introduction.
Okay, most welcome.
Yes, I hope I am already audible to all participants. Okay, so A pleasant morning to all of us, to all the participants, the students and faculty members from the organizing school, Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo, my students and co-faculty from the Camarines Sur Polytechnic Colleges, Philippines. And a while ago, I have seen some faculty from the University of St. Anthony. And also, I'd like to greet participants from the University Tecnología Mara and Yala University. Good morning. I would like first to acknowledge the Universitas Rector, Dr. Rafiq Norhadi, and the Director for the International Linkages of UMP, Dr. Tocino. Thank you for the invitation on today's international webinar on hybrid learning in higher education, its issues, opportunities, and challenges. And I would like also to acknowledge my college president, Dr. Charlito P. Cadag, for approving my presentation, my representation for this morning. And before I start my discussion on the topic, allow me also to acknowledge my co-speakers. Brilliant speaker, Dr. Tengko Intan from Malaysia. Hello. Dr. Rukyahati from Indonesia. Dr. Muhammad Tulan Kaima from Thailand. And Dr. Anita Rinawati of UMP Indonesia. Again, good morning to all of us. So we have about 420 participants in the Zoom, and my students just informed me that are also live via YouTube. So to start my discussion, may I please be allowed to do screen share? Can I have a screen share, sir?
Wait, okay. Dr. Maria, you have become a co-host, so I think you can share the screen.
Okay. Okay, so I hope everybody can see my screen already. So our topic, hybrid learning in higher education, is very timely. I see it as a trending solution in the need of continuing the responsibility of the education sector in providing education amidst health crisis due to COVID-19 virus and other challenges like during unstable weather condition. In this way, instruction is still possible at these times. So, allow me first to mention my objectives for this morning discussion. I'd like my participants to at least revisit or know what is hybrid learning method, cite the differences of hybrid learning versus blended learning and flexible learning educational method, able to identify the need and importance of hybrid learning in today's time, cite some practices of hybrid learning in the Philippines, and I would like to present some requirement on how are we going to continue the effective hybrid learning in higher education. And throughout my presentation, I'll be mentioning some opportunities and challenges of hybrid learning in higher education. So allow me to start my discussion by mentioning that according to International Journal of Educational Technology in Higher Education, authored by Vaughan and Graham, that they defined hybrid learning as an educational model where some students attend class in person while others join in class virtually. So here, educators teach remote in person to students at the same time using tools like video conferencing, like what we are using now, Zoom. Others may use Google Meet with the use of both hardware and software learning aid. In hybrid learning methodology, instructors or teachers and students allows flexibility. The students have more flexibility on their replies, on their performance tasks. Also, in hybrid learning, there is the opportunity to enhance access to learning where there is the use of available gadget for both instructor and student. And in hybrid learning, the teacher can maximize the use of resources, like identifying which computer learning application would suit to the students' needs, to the students' preferences based on their synchronous and asynchronous class schedule. In the hybrid learning, we can also promote active participation of students as if we are doing a face-to-face discussion. Hence, there is a better interaction between the teacher, between the instructor, and the students. In hybrid learning, the teacher can venture into a more personalized learning style where we consider students that they have an independent way of learning. We treat them as students who are capable of doing or discovering more details on the topic that is given to them based on their pace and place. So in hybrid learning methodology, it is very important. This is very important and very useful now that we cannot do the traditional classroom instruction. So we educators must engage into this and make it as an effective hybrid learning methodology where we can do flexible teaching and learning. We can accommodate the differently abled students, rich students who are those in the lockdown in the rural areas. They can participate on our synchronous class with the use of digital resources, with the use of digital connectivity. And on hybrid learning, we can also mitigate the absences of our students. Perhaps they are into some environment issue or circumstances. That's why they get absent. But through having a synchronous schedule, we can mitigate absences. And in hybrid learning, we can also promote the use of modern technology, like the adoption of a certain learning management system. In the concept of hybrid learning, we have this blended learning, which according to Jovan on his article entitled Blended Learning, the New Normal and Emerging Technologies, he defined blended learning as it is actually a hybrid learning methodology where education integrates digital technologies, especially online tools and techniques. So here in the blended learning, we assume the students are under an environment that not all students learn in the same way. They have their own paces under different circumstances and challenges, like absences of gadget to get online, disruptions of internet connectivity if there is unstable internet supply. The blended learning is disrupted if there is limited finances to support in acquiring gadgets and on having loads for internet connectivity. But in blended learning, it allows a more specific instruction, and it gives students option to attain instruction in the best way that it fits to the student learning style and learning capability. So I want to cite some benefits of blended learning, which starts with in blended learning, it allows instructors to become more strategic in teaching approach. They can design a teaching or a lesson with higher thinking approach during synchronous classes and more personalized tasks during asynchronous schedule. In blended learning, we recognize the different online tools, which allows instructors to have more personalized instruction suited to the students' needs. We acknowledge here multiple communication platform, which gives more access between teacher and the students. Like me, as an instructor, as a professor, I and my business students have a group chat via Messenger, via FB Messenger. And with that, I post my announcement, and that is the best way, easier and faster for them to reply on my announcement. And we meet via Google Meet when we have synchronous schedule class discussion, which is more cheaper and more favorable to their gadgets, to their available gadgets. And we also post performance tasks via Google Classroom, aside from posting it to our college learning management system that we adapt. We have a college LMS, we call it LEONS, stands for Learning Online Space, which we mandatorily post our the performance task, the output of the students. And this is being monitored by the administrator and by the Commission of Higher Education. And this is also being evaluated by the internal and external auditors during recertification of ISO and also during accreditation. And in blended learning approach, we also allow collaborative learning among the students because they can meet online, they can talk what will be the task in order to comply for the requirement. And hence, with this blended learning approach, with the recognition that we are under internet connectivity, Wi-Fi, learners become more mobile. Learners are open for different multiple ways how to get in touch with their instructors. There is multiple delivery platforms. And I think this is now how the learners of the 21st century is. Okay, so, and I want also to mention another kind of approach under hybrid learning, which is the flexible learning, which according to the Commission on Higher Education, on the Memorandum Number 04 of 2020, they defined flexible learning as a pedagogical approach, allowing flexible time, place, and audience but not solely focused on the use of technology. Here, on the flexible learning, the design and the delivery of the program or the curriculum is addressed based on the learner's unique needs in terms of their place, pace, process, and learning products, which does not require connectivity at the same time. So in flexible modality or flexible learning approach, students adapt independent study period. Student can choose their own schedule, manages their own learning capacity, and in self-paced. Students have a wider study modes. We recognize under flexible learning approach that students have more wider study mode as where, when, how they will study their lesson. So it's more flexible. Hence, students manage their own academic responsibilities based on their own preferred schedule. And here in the flexible learning methodology, we can still use digital but offline method. We use it through sending reading materials, home reading materials, and activity performance tasks, which in the Philippines, we mostly refer this as a modular type. Okay, so with hybrid learning, maybe it may be called as blended learning, or it could be more flexible under flexible approach. We as educators, we can still continue instruction. We can still continue implementing instruction even on a challenging time, even if we are in pandemic. School administrators still able to widen the reachability of the students. Evidently, for the past 1.5 years that we are in pandemic, our college still experience an increasing number of enrollees. Instructors still maintain to reach the student, to retain the student, and maintain the student in the program. We're still able to produce graduates on time. So therefore, with a hybrid learning, we can still continue our role as educators despite of the challenging current environment. I would like to cite that in the Philippines, as mentioned on the news and as I observed, top universities were already indulging into hybrid learning, especially in the capital region, where climate change causes flooding in cities, which does not allow the students, the university students and professors to be in a classroom for face-to-face discussion. So even pandemic, some top universities in the Philippines were already into online learning, into blended learning. So when the COVID-19 hits the Philippines, we have experienced the mandatory lockdown where schools were closed. And when things get a little bit better, schools again reopened, and the hybrid learning approaches were significantly used. Private schools and other universities adapt blended learning with policies on synchronous and asynchronous schedules. Other schools mix it with flexible and modular learning approach. These are the schools who are challenged with internet connectivity and the availability of gadgets to students and teachers. So with this, I would like to present some requirements for effective hybrid learning in higher education. So first, let's recognize that we really need to have the technology needs for educators and learners. We need the gadget, we need the computer, we need the device in order for the students and teachers to conduct the synchronous classes. And as mentioned by Rappler, a Rappler article, that access to remote learning implies strong internet connectivity, which I'm a little happy because for the past year, access to internet connectivity in my country is also increasing. And without these two, the technology needs and stable internet connectivity, the what we call hybrid learning or blended learning will not be efficient. So it will become an issue and a challenge to the delivering institutions on how are we going to have the effective hybrid learning in higher education. Some universities, like my college, we accommodated certain learning tool or educational technology that suits to the type of student, type of program or curriculum that we offer. And this learning management system is being maintained by the college as one of the provision in order to have effective delivery of instruction despite that we are on pandemic. And I also wanted to mention that one of the requirements for effective hybrid learning is to have a policy formulation, policy aid, policy and monitoring that the school administrators and the commission should have. On the policy, I would like to expect that there would be more proactive policy in the provision of strong internet connectivity, stable internet connectivity in the school campus, and allows more connectivity to the students, even if they are on their respective places. And with that, I'd like to cite that in our college, with the approval of the Board of Trustees and the effort of our college president, they distributed laptops for faculty and notebooks for students. And I hope this would continue, especially for hard up students who have a very least probability of acquiring a simple gadget so that they can participate in the synchronous classes. And I'd also mention here budgetary requirement which should not be limited to school administrators, because I believe school administrators are only limited to budget limited amount. So I would like to recommend that the government should specifically look into what and how they can appropriate more budget to support the needs of schools, academic institution in providing budget so we can maintain the need of technology and stable internet connectivity. And perhaps the school administrators can also accommodate the role of other academic stakeholders on this provision for budget for us to have more technology used by our students. So I think my 25 minutes is already off. Thank you for listening. For any questions and clarification, it will be entertained later, I guess, during question and answer. Thank you. Good morning to everyone. Again, I am Dr. Maria Joy C. Iglesia Ilian of the Camarines Sur Polytechnic Colleges, Philippines. I have posted here my number and email for future references. Thank you, and God bless us all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Maria. What a really wonderful presentation this morning, discussing the issues, the challenges, the best practices of hybrid learning, especially in Philippines. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to come to the second speakers. That is Dr. Tengku Intan Susila from University Teknologi Mara, Pahang, Malaysia. Dr. Intan is Senior Lecturer of the Academy of Language Studies, University Teknologi Mara, Malaysia. He got PhD from University Kebangsaan Malaysia in the area of grammar studies. Her research area covered the area of technology in education, English as a second language, English as a foreign language, and the endangered languages. Well, to the distinguished participants, you may write the questions on the chat box, or you may raise your remark on the Zoom later, because after the third speaker, that would be question and answer for the first term. Well, please welcome the second speaker, Dr. Intan Susila. For Dr. Intan Susila, the floor is yours.
Right. Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all. I would like to thank the organizers and the respected rectors, professors, right? So yes, I'm from UITM in Pahang, right? Not the main campus, we're the branch campus from Pahang, okay? So let me share my screen first.
Okay, yes, please, Dr. Intan.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm gonna like explain a bit about how we are going to do our hybrid learning this semester. This is the first semester where we start our hybrid learning. Okay, so I hope my fellow students are here so that they would not like be worried of how things are going to happen this semester here. Okay, so when we were before the pandemic, actually, Alhamdulillah, UITM has a cushion way of doing things. So we have started our blended learning way back in 2017 and even earlier, right? So back then we have already like 16 hours of online, okay, rather than a full blast of face-to-face classes. So because we have already had this blended learning even before the pandemic, so when the pandemic happened, lecturers and students were not shocked. Okay, so we have managed to cushion things before that. So in 2019, we introduced this e-teaching portfolio, whereby most things are also done online, and most submissions of assignments or essays for us to check are also being done through the Google Drive, So most lecturers are already equipped with all this technology-based kind of learning here at UITM. So when the pandemic hit us in 2020, right, because we have all these transitions happening very smoothly, so then we introduced this lecturers electronic briefcase. So this is where we would, how should I say it, where we would somehow monitor, the lessons or the approach that is being taken by lecturers during the online distance learning, during the ODL sessions. So from e-teaching portfolio, whereby it's a very basic way of monitoring the lecturers, then we move to electronic briefcase, where things are much more regulated and we could know what the lecturers are doing or not doing during the ODL sessions. Okay, and then we also did a lot of collaborative teachings. So with that, things managed to be carried out smoothly. For some classes, in fact. But of course, now we are moving to hybrid learning. So there's a lot of question marks from the students especially. But I think the lecturers are very much ready. Okay. So I know some of the students are still confused. So maybe I'll keep using all these definitions, yeah. But what it is actually? Well, when we move during the pandemic, yeah, we were all fully online. Yeah, it's called distance online learning. Now we are like moving backwards to our hybrid learning flip, yeah, and all our classrooms aid, yeah, and some of it will move to face-to-face, okay, learning. So when we use the term blended learning, it will cover all of this. I know some of the students are wondering, what's the difference? How is it different from the typical online learning that we already have? And then if they are coming on campus, why is it still, is it going to be face-to-face or is it not going to be face-to-face? How many hours would be face-to-face? How many hours would be online? Okay. And if they are already on campus, why are we still going to do online? So those are the questions that I keep on receiving from the students. So I hope with these presentations, yeah, many students would understand when the lecturer says it's blended learning, meaning there will be a bit of hybrid, there will be a bit of flip, and of course with all the technologies will still comes in. Okay. All right. So when we were in the pandemic, right, the lectures, we did a lot of innovations, yeah. Okay, this is my team's some of the things that we did for the online learning in order for us to accommodate all the needs of the students, yeah. So for the first one, we did this narrative reading apps, but we did it more of a role-playing game of sorts, okay. So students get to play games as they learn reading, okay. Then we also have this easy English tenses apps where students get to actually just using their phones, yeah, students get to watch some snips of explanation of English tenses, and then they get to answer some questions at the end of the sessions, yeah. And then for our degree students, we also have this pocket resume pointer video apps where the students can actually watch a lot of videos and then rate, yeah, the performance did by the previous students in the video, and then so that they themselves would improve better when they have to do online resumes for applying jobs later on. Okay. And then we also have several websites for us to help our students, yeah, so that this will be more of the asynchronous learning base, right? So of course, at the higher level, we have our online joint thesis master's program with Universitas Ahmad Dahlan. We also have our online international credit transfer program with Universitas Negeri Malang, okay? And we also have several international research grants, yeah, being conducted online, yeah, where we would collaborate with lecturers from other UCs. So I would like also to take this opportunity. So hopefully we can also have more collaboration with Pak Tusino, yeah, Madam Maria, and also the partners from Thailand and so on. Okay, so moving on. Right. So I would like to cite this caricature that I found. The most interesting part for me is the relationship between the instructors, peers, yeah, and the students. What is missing here? Another arrow for content, yeah, students and content, which I found very important actually. All right. So and then of course I would like to highlight the idea of collaborative and active learning here. Although some of the students feel that I am isolated, you know, I'm alone in my room doing all this learning, yeah, but actually they do have to have some sort of an active learning and be online with their peers as well, yeah, not just to do their assignments, but of course to also share and fulfill some emotional support, yeah, through although it's done online, okay. But of course, when we did some general overview of the lesson being conducted by the lecturers, we also found out that some lecturers tend to replicate their lectures, yeah. Of course, when they recorded this lecture, they just put it online and then expect students to just look on the video, which we found is actually not fair for the students, all right? So we would rectify those issues that are happening here, okay? All right. So under the flipped classroom, yeah, of course, we do pre-record our lecture, and then we would put it in Google Classroom, yeah, or any kind of LMS that we use here. And then when we have the slot, yeah, where we have our 2 hours of lectures and then another 2 hours of where we get to meet the students online, yeah, where we would do all these things. Of course, some subjects like the science-based or engineering-based subjects, a lot of mentoring need to be done, yeah. But for English classes, I think most are done using coaching techniques, yeah, where we would try to induce all these critical thoughts from students and induce self-awareness, promoting self-directed learning, and also help them with thought processes, yeah, and provoking discussions. So for English classes, of course, we did a lot of coaching, but for the science-based, yeah, technical-based, a lot of mentoring needs to be done. And then, of course, we did a lot of exercises, yeah, through experimenting and try to discover a lot of other things, yeah. And then, of course, we have used a lot of softwares and tools, yeah, like the softwares that I've invented with my colleagues, as I shown earlier. And then we also promote, we have Salam program, where we encourage the students to actually organize programs with communities, yeah. So they would get the communities to join their online sessions, yeah, not just for typical lectures like what we are having here now, but more of engaging ones where we would ask the students to actually have conversations with the larger audience, which are the communities or workers from the industries, yeah, so that students would not just listen, but they also have to organize sessions with the communities, yeah. So I think that program is very beneficial, very good for students, because students should firsthand learn how to actually organize all these online mediums, yeah, so that would improve their skills as well. Okay, so a study that I did, yeah, me and my team did, okay, we found that we need to humanize how we approach our lessons with the students, right? So so we propose this more of bonded awareness, yeah, in humanizing online blended mobile blended learning, yeah, because I know most of Malaysian students due to the pandemic, they had to work, yeah. Maybe because their parents lost the incomes and whatnot, so many students are also working. So we promote this mobile sort of learning where students are using phones, yeah, as they are learning. So and then so even with that, yeah, we found that media morphosis is a huge impact for the students, meaning some lecturers tend to move from one media to another media without putting a cushion for the students in the transitions of one media to another. What do I mean by media morphosis here is actually, we know that some students are using all the LMS, and then suddenly they ask the students to use, to communicate through WhatsApp, and then suddenly answer some Metometer activities, you know. So this is what we call media morphosis, moving from one media to another, okay, and it's done in a very fast, yeah, synchronous situations, and this creates some sort of anxiety for the students, yeah, having to move from one media to another. So if you are doing that, we have to consider pacing, yeah, all this in our teaching, yeah, right. So that's one of the things that we found, yeah. So we need to put in more humanizing factors in our lessons, and in the what do you call it, and consider infrastructures, what students have and what students don't have. Okay, for the students part, yeah, students needs to have this intuition awareness. Simply means that they themselves need to have all this heuristic and self synergy, yeah, combining all the things that you know around you, and you students themselves needs to have the want, to actually learn and to actually engage in all this learning process, as much as lecturers are doing a lot of things to help students, they themselves must want to also learn and get engaged on this online platforms. Okay, and then another thing is that one of the things that's I find very exciting is that gender is one factor that is rarely considered when we do technology kind of learning. Okay, so we thought that most of our male students are technology savvy, so we thought that and then the female are also moving towards more established knowledge in technology, right? But then when it comes to this online learning, we found that the male students are actually worried, and they are not convinced that online learning would do benefit to them. Okay, but the female tend to take more initiative, to ensure success in learning. All right. So then, with this finding is that I guess we have to, as lecturers, we have to constantly engage with the male students and constantly asking if they are okay, if they are receiving this learning approach well, okay. And then another thing that we found in humanizing is that in terms of content awareness, as I mentioned just now, the content of what we put in LMS, if you are using Google Classroom or whatnot, the content must be acceptable, suitable for the students. One thing that we found that students don't really appreciate when lecturers only put in YouTube link, from other people, or simply put our PowerPoint or Prezis, we just put in our DAX in the Google Classrooms. Students don't really appreciate that. What they want from us is that if we put our PowerPoint, we must put some sort of engaging video of ourselves. Our face must be there, our voice must be there as well. So one of way of doing that is to use Screen-O-Matic, which the lecturers can also record they themselves talking in the video, rather than just put very cold, personalized PowerPoint in the Google Classroom. Okay. All right, so that's one thing that is we need to be aware of, this humanizing the content that we put in a Google Classroom. Okay, so next is that our TREC actually did this research, this is specifically focusing on UiTM Pahang. So we did this research and we found that, the soft skill achievements of the students are rather average, and we found it very low skill, hard skill attainment. Okay, right? So because students don't get to go to labs, isn't it? They don't actually get to touch or hold the machines, the tools and everything. So in terms of the hard skills, we found attainment is very low. Okay, and this is in line with all the employment skills that students need. So this is the impact of ODL that we found at UiTM Pahang. So with that, we're going to move to hybrid learning. Okay. All right, due to the impact that we found earlier, so we are moving towards hybrid learning. Okay, some classes in UiTM are already equipped with cameras, web cameras with tripods, mostly in labs and the workshops. Okay, what lecturers will do is that they will make it live Webex or Facebook Live, Telegram or YouTube channels. They will make it live in class, because some students will be in the workshop, some students will be in their hostels, but this would be done, right? Because our classrooms are not very big, so we're not going to put like 30 students, right? Possibly we are going to put like 15, and then the other 15 will be in their hostels. But when the students comes into class, I think they should know that this will also be done live with the students who are not in class. Okay, all right. Okay, what we hope will happen is that no, we will make it a strategic options, yeah, but using synchronous hybrid sessions, yeah, whereby we do have all these cameras and some students in class and it's live like this, yeah, like the picture on your right hand top corner, rather than the one that is on the left hand top corner, which will be totally missing the point, isn't it? Because we don't want lecturers to actually still looking at screens while there are students behind the screens, yeah, but focusing more on the one that is on the camera, yeah. Okay, so we hope our lecturers would be able to take these hybrid learning sessions more strategically and be able to conduct it in a much more strategic manner. Okay, so some of our labs will be put in all this fishbowl and eagle eye view sort of, yeah. All right, so we will see how this would be implemented this semester and see how smooth it will go. All right. Okay, so when we talk about hybrid learning, this is our priority for entrance for the students, yeah. So we prioritize the students who needs all the labs, arts lab, studio, or the need of special softwares like using MetaLab or maybe SPSS, yeah. We found students who needs to use all the statistical softwares it's very challenging for them to learn online, yeah. So with this hybrid learning, we will prioritize all these students first. Okay. Of course, we don't forget the students who are already seniors, you know, that have not entered universities yet. So this semester they will be also prioritized to enter the campus. Okay, and I guess by 1st April we can also welcome our international students. Yeah. We have few students from China, okay, who would come soon, yeah, to do research here. And I guess our online master's programs can also start coming back, yeah, rather than doing it online. We had it online for like 4 semesters, I think, because the first semesters it was face-to-face. The students from Indonesia come here and we accommodate them, all right, and then we go for MCO, and then I think like 4 semesters was online. So I hope by this coming semester, yeah, students can come to Malaysia and I guess it's easier to supervise their research. Okay. All right. So of course, all staffs are in, all academicians are also in. All right, and then students who have to take some exams, yeah, professionals exam would also come in soon. Okay, so this is the phase of entrance to the campus. All right, phase 2 are those who would come after Hari Raya. Okay, so phase 1 are students who actually need to go to lab. Second phase are students who need to use this software. So of course, this entrance phase is totally based on the subject requirement. Yeah, the special subjects requirement. Like for example, our accountancy students, they will not enter in phase 1, but they will enter in phase 2 because then only they will use this Mr. Accountancy software. Okay, but of course by the third phase where students would have to take final exams, then more students will be coming in. So that's how we try to cushion, yeah, the coming in of students to campus, and hope with that our the staff would also be able to manage, yeah, because students might have to take the RTK test every week, you know, to make sure that they are free from COVID. Okay. All right, so in terms of the capacity, we will take like 70%. So that's why just now I mentioned some of the students would still be in the hostels, not at home. Yeah, some students are at home, some students are at hostels. So, and some will be in a classroom. So with that, yeah, we have mechanized our class scheduling as well. Some would still have online mass lecture. For example, like English classes, there will be classes that are done mass online, but then the next 2 hours only the lecturers will go to class and meet, yeah, for students who are in needs only. For students who are English are quite okay, yeah, like the science students, probably we would not meet them face-to-face, but I know in terms of venue is already available, right? Okay, so rotation basis is also in the pipeline. yeah, 15 on in the hostel, 15 in the classroom, right? So we will also conduct a lot of collaborative teaching. This is where I will need the partners from Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia as well, to come and not face to face, but to teach online, yeah, to teach our students online. So maybe I think Madam Maria, yeah, would come and teach like 2 hours with us collaboratively. Okay. Yeah, definitely. And I will need Dr. Tusino to teach our English classes. Yeah, Dr. Maria, I'll pass you to our business partners here. Yeah, then you can teach. Yeah, because on collaborative teaching is very much celebrated here. I think it's almost compulsory for all lecturers to have collaborative projects, you know, and inviting speakers from international to teach in our class. All right, and then we would teach in your class in return, you know. So, okay. So assessments, some assessments is still online, but most assessments are on site. Yeah. Okay. Like English classes, if it's online, then it would be more of like grammar tests that will be online. Yeah. Okay. I think some will be online, still online. Okay. All right. So moving on to this hybrid 5.0. So although we know part of it is hybrid is actually blended sessions, yeah. So flipped classrooms as well, all right. So I hope the students would not be confused, you know, like why are we on campus, but why are we still doing it online? Okay, so you should know that some are done asynchronously, some were done synchronously. So most of the things that you need to go to the lab, yeah, with machines and whatnot, so that will be synchronized. You will meet your lecturers, but some classes will still be online. Yeah, although Malaysia is already moving towards the endemic, where you know, everything is open, yeah. Shopping malls, yeah, schools are all open or all face to face, yeah. But we are still trying to cushion, yeah, this impact of going to endemic. All right. So as a conclusion, all right. So this is what we hope our students would you know, be prepared of. Okay. So in terms of technology, students would realize that many lecturers would not use Google Meet anymore. Yeah, I think many lecturers would move to WebEx and Zoom instead. Okay, initially we would use a lot of our Google Meet sessions and records and upload the lessons, yeah, the lectures. But I think this semester more lecturers would use WebEx and Zoom for security purposes. And then of course, I think most campuses has already upgraded our bandwidth. Okay. And then they have also innovated this My Students, where students get to directly communicate with administrative staffs, yeah, with whatever problems that they have, okay, personal or emotional, any kind of problems. And then our iStack portal is also where students get to register everything online, so they don't need to fill in forms anymore. Yeah, it's just a matter of clicking things online. Okay. Innovation is still very much welcome. Okay, so I think many lecturers would do MOOC platforms and would also create micro-credentials platforms, yeah, under the what do you call it? Under the need of innovation. And English classes syllabus are also being improved, yeah. So this semester's English classes would have a new syllabus in many areas. Okay. We will continue using UFuture. This is our LMS program that we have, platform that we have. Okay, and we have search in UFuture. One of the item that we have in UFuture is where students would take attendance. Yeah, they would take their attendance through UFuture. But then from the UFuture, lecturers would use search. Search is where we would report percentage of students attendance to our online classes, yeah, and then if students tend to fail, yeah, in attending classes, search is where we report, okay, so that students would be more attentive and attending classes, although they have to work part-time, yeah, although they have to sell drinks on the by the roadside or anything, for extra income, they still have to be engaged on this online. Okay, Mars is where we would ERES is where we put our exam results, online, put in our exam results, but Mars would detect all the borderline cases, in our exams results. So we have all these platforms. Okay, all right. In terms of the optimum output that we hope, and to cushion all the students attending to class and to campus, hostels, our accommodation are done in several packages. Students can request how many days to be on campus, then they will pay based on the days that they have, or monthly, or maybe one-off. So we also have these packages, accommodation packages for our students. I guess if Dr. Tusino wants to bring students here, so then we can also accommodate in terms of if you want to come here for 1 month, So all right, so it's a 1 month payment. So we do have all these packages. Okay. And then another thing that I would like to highlight is that the need for empowering virtual body. Okay. So virtual body is where we would elect, students would elect people, another students who score in their exam results, and then they would be virtual friends, this is to handle emotional stress or whatsoever, or trying to have someone to actually talk to, if they have anxieties, worries, concerns regarding hybrid learning, so we have this platform, virtual body. And this semester also academic advisors are empowered, right? Because we know with all this online or hybrid students, some students, they are supposed to be in the lab doing this face-to-face in the lab, but I know some students would just sleep in the hostels, So we have our academic advisors and virtual body to solve that problem. Okay. Next, we will also encourage more of MOA and MOU, especially for that our students can do industrial training. Okay. In terms of these rules, we are very much following the main campus, which is in Shah Alam. But in terms of symbiosis, whereby the need to help students, UITM also give away laptops to students who are in need. We have been doing that a lot. And I think this today, in fact, staffs, lecturers and staffs, I think, I hope students as well, are already receiving like 100 ringgit, if they are contracted with COVID, they will get this sadaqah money, okay, from main campus. All right. So I guess this is the end of my presentations. So I hope students will all follow the SOP, and constantly check health before actually going to classes, so that our hybrid learning sessions would be smooth. Okay. So this is my contact number, all right, and email. So feel free to contact for any kind of collaboration. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Intan, for very insightful presentation this morning. We have 2 questions. The first for Dr. Maria, and I think the second could be addressed to Dr. Intan and also maybe for Dr. Anita. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the third speaker this morning. That would be Dr. Anita Dinawati. Dr. Anita is a faculty member at Economic Education Program, Teacher Training and Education Faculty, Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo. She has been teaching at UMP and also Open University. He got bachelor's degree from Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta, and then she got master's degree from Universitas Negeri Semarang, and currently she got a PhD degree from Universitas Negeri Semarang. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our third great speakers, Dr. Anita Dinawati. For Dr. Anita, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Tusino.
Most welcome, Bu Anita.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Especially Dr. Maria, Dr. Tengku Intan, Dr. Muhammad Tolan Kami, Dr. Siti. The topic of my presentation is implementation of hybrid learning with digital marketing in entrepreneurship courses at the University of Muhammadiyah Purworejo. I hope we are here today to learn about hybrid learning together in international conference and education and technology. Ideal learning. In the learning process, ideally, there will be direct interaction between student, lecturer, and the media learning equipment used. Learning before there is a pandemic is done by face-to-face. There is interaction in the same place. The challenge of the world education today is COVID-19 pandemic. This limit the interaction between student and lecturer. Number one, student loss of education, low competition. Teacher reduced role, digital literacy request. Number three, new paradigm, new policy, link and match. And number four, college need digital infrastructure, and now hybrid learning, quality assurance. Now we can see components in education. Number one, curriculum. Emergency curriculum for the pandemic, simply lesson plan and face-to-face duration. To study, learning, students are required to learn independent. Educate and teach using digital learning and hybrid learning model. Number four, educational environment, support from all parties in order to carry out learning. And then five, learning assessment to find out the result achieved from learning. So how education for the future? Need digital commerce and industry 5.0, future work, creativity, work professionalism, competence, transformer natural resources, lifelong learning, and independence is the key. Now we can see level of learning styles from four. Definition of learning is a process where knowledge is created through the transformation of experience. We can see diverging. In this type, the student has a tendency to feel and see or observe. To example, likes to imagine, recognize problem, exchange ideas, and open-minded. And assimilation, in this time, the student has a tendency to think and see or observe. For example, likes to plan, make models, define problems, and develop theory. Converging, in this type, the student has a tendency to think and do. For example, likes to solve problems, make decision, make relation, and think logically. And the accommodative, this type of student has a tendency to feel and do. For example, getting things done, learning, talking risk, imitating, adapting, especially and being practical. Now, definition of entrepreneurship education. Entrepreneurship is an activity that is carried out consistently to transfer ideas into profitable business activity. Entrepreneurship is not only related to the creation of new product, but start from gathering new sources and exploring and managing talents and ability until a product that has value can be products, which may be a new and unique product that will support success in the field. Now we can entrepreneurship learning problems. How is the application of hybrid learning using digital marketing in entrepreneurship courses at university? Because entrepreneurship courses require theoretical as well as practical proficiency. Entrepreneurship education in higher education, entrepreneurship education in higher education does not mean education to open a business, but must be interpreted as education to build, entertain, character, entrepreneur mindset, entrepreneur behavior. Outcomes of entrepreneurs education in university can be entrepreneur of business entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs as academic entrepreneur, corporate entrepreneur, as well as technopreneurship and social entrepreneurs. This is the practice of entrepreneurs before the pandemic. We can see the students are very motivated and interested and done to display their work. The challenge of the teaching entrepreneurship education during the pandemic. One, university faced the challenge of teaching students about theoretical concepts and applying them in practice, as well as practicing entrepreneurial process and reflecting on them in order to improve student personal performance. The problem is not only in the substance and content, but also in the way it is delivered. The need for hybrid learning to deliver entrepreneurs material through LMS Elijo, online learning platform University Muhammadiyah Purworejo, and apply digital marketing to send student work through the YouTube application. Now you can see the history hybrid learning. The history of hybrid learning dates back to 1940 when Sir Isaac Pitman launched the first distance education course. So texts are sent to students via postcard and they are asked to complete the work and send it back for grading and feedback. Until today, integrated blended learning institutions started implementing a combination of web-based learning and traditional place-based classroom method in order to enrich the learning experience of students. Hybrid learning with rotation. In the class, college students rotate their routine. In the lab, college students rotate to lab. Individual, each college student does not rotate through on the station. Flip it, college students complete their works through online learning platform and also attend the offline meeting at class. Literacy of application on content and for entrepreneurship education, connected indoor, like OVO, Link Aja, Dana, and high speed, YouTube, Zoom, Facebook, order and ruler, government responsibility, is the application used by Muhammadiyah University of Purworejo, eligible to send materials, writing assessment, and check attendance online. Is eligible. Digital marketing via YouTube to demonstrate product creation, independent online learning application to about the work or product to be shown. Hybrid learning, application of entrepreneurship learning in higher education. The use of hybrid learning model with digital marketing can be applied to entrepreneurship. Now, hybrid learning objective to be achieved by using digital marketing. Number one, identify and evaluate market opportunities. Number two, find solution to build this market opportunities. Number three, obtain the necessary resources to run the business. Number four, manage resources from the initial stage, startup, to the survival and development basis, pension. Number five, manage the risks associated with the business. Now, SWOT analysis. Identification and evaluation of strength, weakness, and opportunities in entrepreneurship learning with hybrid learning. And then identify and understand the facility asset, competition, and express position to carry about hybrid learning with digital marketing. How students can be resourced through improve creativity and character. For students, what opportunity will be obtained using digital marketing for entrepreneurship learning? Now, strength, SWOT analysis for entrepreneurship sources. Strength, self accountability, virtual learning, more safety, be more creative, learn to be independent, character former. Now, weakness, minimally interaction, work ethic, complacency, lab recruitment, compromise software. And three, technology compromises, computer compatibility, personal integrity, subject matter by and so software cost, technical sharing individuals. Opportunities, technology advance, cloud-based potential, multiple course facilitate, creative, and synergy. Okay. Learn continually. There's always one more thing to learn. Which teacher? Okay, that's my presentation. Thank you. Terima kasih. Stop work. Okay, Mr. Tusino.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Anita, for really wonderful presentation this morning. Talking about hybrid learning, the implementation of hybrid learning in Indonesia, especially at Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before coming to the four speakers, we are going to have the first term of question and answer. In a chat box, there are two questions. The first from Mr. Agustiano goes to Dr. Maria. The second from Mr. Deniatur, I think, goes to Dr. Intan, and also Dr. Anita maybe could also respond for the second speakers from Mr. Denny. Well, I'm going to read the question from Mr. Agus. I'm an English teacher at high school in Purworejo, Indonesia, Dr. Maria. I'd like to ask a question to Dr. Maria. Well, during pandemic, it is a hard time for us as educators, instructors, because we have found so many problems that are about lost learning or learning loss. We do implement blended or hybrid learning through a simple way, but we still find some difficulties in bringing back student effective competence, especially building students' character. I need to know how to build students' character and the effort as well in your country. Thanks. Dr. Maria?
Okay, thank you for that question. When the school reopened again after the mandatory lockdown in the Philippines, I guess all of us were shocked, perhaps, as educators. How are we going again to approach instruction? How are we going again to have this new environment? How are we going to have our new teaching style? I have experienced difficulty in bridging to my students. But what I did, I made my own initiative to get familiarized with what available computer learning aid or computer applications that I can use during synchronous class to make it more lively, more interesting, more enthusiastic, and mind remembering to students. So I trained myself without yet the training, the seminars made and implemented by the schools. I tried already to discover what is Kahoot, what is Mentimeter, and I integrate it in my personal teaching style that I developed. And during synchronous classes, what I did is I encouraged the students to open their cameras. So for us all to realize that as if we are inside a classroom. But there are restrictions because some students cannot afford to have laptop also and have stable connectivity. So that thing does not last from the first minute of your synchronous class until the last minute. We have policy on synchronous classes, like we have to have 1 hour and 30 minutes synchronous and the rest asynchronous. On that 1.5 hour, that's 60% of the total hour for the week that we will spend for the student. I make it as a meeting that the students look forward to attend my class, because my class is a substantive 1.5 class discussion that they will enjoy. How will they enjoy? I make a simple, comprehensive discussion, and then I integrate computer apps like Kahoot, Mentimeter, and then I ask names on the class to participate and share their own learning, their own experiences on the topic that we have. So on the first semester, it's really challenging, but on the succeeding semester, as they know me already, the teaching style I said, they become more interested to attend my class. So I am pretty sure that in order for us to build students' character, become more competent, we educators should really commit, should really put effort, should really study, should study what digital resources can I use, what platform that is effective to my student. I even adjust because on the first semester, I want Zoom. Let's meet on Zoom. I preferred Zoom, but that makes a challenge on the part of the student because state university students have also limited capacity to have connectivity. They have limited finances to have loads for internet connectivity. So I adjust. We find some platform that is conducive to them, cheaper, and they can easily reply on my performance task. I guess that's my experience. So for this application of hybrid learning, let's all be positive. Let's all be serious and committed on how are we going to effectively deliver the curriculum. That's all. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Maria, for really great answers for the first questions. Well, I think we come to the second questions. Goes to Dr. Intan, and also maybe Dr. Anita could respond. Hybrid learning is related to the digital literacy practices of teachers and students in the classroom. Digital literacy is not only knowing how to use digital technology for functional purpose, but also knowing how to use it for communication, collaboration, critical thinking, creativity, cultural understanding, finding information, and e-safety. The question, how can we integrate digital literacy in the classroom? Dr. Intan?
Yes, thank you for the questions. All right, what we would do here is that if it's in a classroom, we would bring in newspaper articles, yeah, or from magazines which are very current issues, yeah, on current issues, and then we would do some critical reading, yeah, on these newspaper articles or magazine articles, and then that's where we start to provoke the students to induce their critical thinking, yeah. For example, like last semester, I brought this article talking about there's this YouTube, you know, whereby the minister actually dismiss a reporter when the reporter asks something in English, yeah. But then and that media sessions was actually during the celebration of Merdeka, yeah, of Malaysia Merdeka. So so I brought in that very challenging, or should I say sensitive issue, yeah. So so that's how I provoke the students to actually ask questions and give feedback. Okay, so some of the students were actually upset with the article, yeah, where the article actually talks about Malaysians should use the first language, which is Malay language, yeah, the standard language, rather than using English, because it's the what do you call it, the business language of Malaysia is English, right, rather than Malay. Okay, so some students were happy, some students were not happy with it, but some students feel that I am promoting Malay rather than English, yeah, although I'm teaching English. So but even though it's such a sensitive issue, but it actually make the students open their camera and argue about it, you know, talk about it. So, and then there's also some cultural input being talked about, you know, and then issues about how some of Malaysians, Chinese, are unable to speak Malay, and they are also unable to speak their mother tongue, which is Mandarin, yeah, and then they can only speak in English. So what would that happen to them, you know, because they cannot speak Malay. So although these things are very sensitive, yeah, but at least they would speak online in class, yeah. They would argue about it, and then they would talk, you know, like have these all critical moments and whatnot. So I think bringing in current issues would be very beneficial to classroom, because if they feel close to their heart, you know, and they would speak out about it, you know. So in teaching English, we should not just lecture on this grammar or this and that, you know, but rather we bring in a very interactive kind of issues, yeah, and make them think about it, talk about it. All right. So I think that's much more useful in English classroom, especially when it's online. Yeah, we need students to speak more to us rather than not talking to us. Okay, and then on another platform, what we have is our academic advisor. So every lecturers in UiTM Pahang would have like 10 students under their wings. Yeah, these are not students from their classroom, but students in general. At least they have like 10 students who they are in charge with. So I think like in my homeroom, we call it homeroom, yeah, small group of students homeroom. So this is where students would actually share their personal problems, yeah, and this is where the virtual buddies will also play a role in teaching them about digital literacy. So if they would talk about how to create websites, how to come up with a very interactive PowerPoint, you know, how to actually use Screenomatic to record their assignments or whatsoever. So this small group of family, yeah, this homeroom would be the support system to not just learning but also the humanizing, yeah, this digital platform actually. So in terms of digital literacy, so we have like two mechanisms. One, lecturers are to bring in current issues, thought-provoking issues, yeah, so that they will speak in class. Another platform is that we have our academic advisors homerooms, yeah, where only 10 students are in that homeroom. So it's very personalized, very humanized, yeah. And then of course we have the virtual buddy, which are the students helping the students themselves. So that's how in UiTM Pahang we actually try to support, you know, and promote and not just fulfilling the digital needs of the students, but also the humanizing factors in teaching. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dan, for really great answers. So I think, Bu Anita, maybe you want to add some more for the questions from Mr. Denny?
Okay, I want to add from the question Deniatur. Okay. The sharing integration digital literacy can be inviting students to use digital to upload their work to YouTube. So students will have more creativity and are happy when their work can be seen by others and get feedback. Besides that, it will challenge students to be more independent and responsibility for their work. That's a question from Mohdeniatur. Okay.
Well, thank you very much again for the three speakers this morning, Dr. Maria, Dr. Ina, also Dr. Anita. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the fourth speakers this morning. That is Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Tolan Kaima. Prof. Tolan is based on Faculty of Education, Yala Rajabat University, Thailand. He has many experiences. He is a lecturer in Faculty of Education, also as a former head program of teaching Islamic education postgraduate program, also former deputy of the Dean, Faculty of Education. Okay, let me read his educational background. He got a bachelor degree from Alika Muslim University, India. And then he got master degree from Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi, India. Okay. And he got PhD degree from Islamic Studies, Alika Muslim University, India. Well, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome Assistant Professor Dr. Muhammad Tolan Kaima. The floor is yours.
Good morning and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you very much, and dear respected the audience and all the distinguished guests. And it is a good chance for me today to sharing the idealistic or the trend of the hybrid learning. And as it is undeniably that we are in the crisis. And from now on, a single learning model may not longer meet the need of global society. I quite agree with the former three speakers, either Dr. Maria, Dr. Intan, and Dr. Anita, which has described about the pattern of the hybrid learning. And because of the changing trend of the world in many dimensions, whether it's a learning behavior, technological advances, including the changing of environment, make us all to adjust all the time, as well as in education. And I like to say, apologize to me first, because I don't have much slide to show you, because I want you to focus on me, and I will talk within the limited time that has been given to me. And during the current COVID-19 crisis that we are facing right now, we have seen many changes has taken place in the field of education. It is obviously and undeniably that online teaching and learning has replaced the usual classroom teaching and become an important part of today's education. In fact, the online teaching is nothing new. Many institutions, especially in higher education, have been working on this for a long time and has been used some, but not popular, until the arrival of the COVID-19 crisis that, like a catalyst, like an accelerator, caused more awareness in online teaching and learning management. Today, most of the students at all levels are able to learn online, just like a classroom learning. However, although online learning is useful, but offline learning is still necessary to be conducted in the classroom for some specific subject. Regarding the location materials and additions that communications and joint activities between the students is an important part in promoting learning and developing the student skill. Not online learning management could be fulfilled, but getting students back to the school full-time amid the crisis, it doesn't seem like a good approach. This is under the COVID crisis. Can you hear me properly?
Yes, we can hear
Okay,
you.
thank you. And as I said that online learning is useful, but offline learning is still not necessary to be conducted in the classroom for some specific subject regarding location and materials. In addition, communication and joint activities between students is an important part in promoting learning and developing student skill. Not all online learning management could be fulfilled, as I said before, but getting students back to the school for full-time amid the crisis is not a good way in Thailand as well. For that reason, would it be better if our education was able to be conducted online alongside learning offline? This idea is therefore the origin of learning management to solve education in the crisis situation called hybrid learning. Respect the audience. Actually, hybrid learning, when we heard about the hybrid, it makes me feel in the couple of years back, hybrid, we use the term of hybrid in the form of automobile. And this word has been implemented, has been used in the terms of education. That is very amazing. Before we know about the blended learning, flipped classroom, integrated, and so on, and now in the crisis, we use hybrid. And then hybrid learning is the teaching and learning in a variety of blended formats that are integrated between offline learning management, such as learning the classroom or learning through recorded video clips with online, which is include live learning in the class or live streaming together in different ways, as well as using in a variety of teaching aids concurrently. To increase the efficiency of learning and help solve a problem in learning that we have various impact. And obvious, for example, students learn together through online classroom with quiz and teachers' assignment before delivering it, and on the scheduled date and time, and reviewing the lesson with the teacher in the class or dividing students into groups to which days between attending school and studying online at home. Hybrid learning is considered to bring the strength of both online and offline and online learning. It is used in teaching and learning design that creates a flexible learning style that can be adapted to the context of the learner and the location, resulting in effective learning access to learner and suitable with today's world. And the approach of hybrid learning consists of, it is nothing new, but as I mentioned by the former three speakers, it is a blend of online of offline learning, making easy to implement and giving learner to open to choose a learning style that suits to the learner. And it is a learning style that can be adjusted according to the learning style of each learner, and as mentioned before by the former speaker as well, allow and for flexible class schedule that can be adjusted according to context of the learner and availability of the teacher, and able to meet between learner and teacher or learner together both online and offline, and enabling learner to learn together effectively. Able to apply a variety of learning material in teaching and learning management. And it is full of efficient use of communication technology. This allows students to learn from both near, far distances effectively. Of course.
So sorry, Prof. Tolan.
Yes.
Are you going to share the screen or not for your presentation? Are you
No, I'm orally speaking.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
And because in the situation of the crisis in the Philippines, also have been locked down. In the Malaysia, also some parts of Malaysia have been locked down, and learning by the distances is very effectively and very important. And helping social distancing because it reduced the amount of students who have to come to study educational institution, which is an important measurement to prevent the outbreak of COVID-19. And it is learning style that take healthy over safety. Therefore, it is a form of learning of the future that is becoming more and more popularity. And as I said, the solution of the modern education that is in the form of hybrid. And the challenges, advantage of hybrid learning and teaching in the crisis time. Hybrid learning brings the strength of communication technology to us to use. This allows learners to talk to the teacher more conveniently and allow both learner and teacher to have more time for studying because of learning style in the form of online. Learner and teacher are able to operate from everywhere without coming to the school every day. This reduces traveling, saving both time and money. It also causes social distancing and reduce congestion in school, as mentioned before by the three speakers. And this is an important measure to prevent the current COVID-19 pandemic as well. At the same time, this style of learning also gives the student opportunity to meet and do learning activities together in the classroom. Only classroom learning will be reduced in volume, and will focus on learning activities together, practice, like practice skill, and summarize lesson for learner to understand the contents better. Hybrid learning is a form of learning management that has been linked between fully online education and offline education. It is therefore a hybrid learning management model that can give advantage to the strengths of both approaches. This makes it accessible to a wide range of learners and is well aligned with the current situation. This is therefore a way of solution for the education in the era, because they can study both online and offline, but mainly focus on online learning. It provides students with the skills they need to communicate online, a skill that is essential for today's world. However, although in the near future we will be able to deal with the outbreak pandemic COVID-19 and return to the normal, but we cannot predict that in the future we will have to face such issues again or not. It is therefore the better way for the teacher to provide extended instruction to deal with the unexpected, because even if the world has to face many problems, education must be able to move forward. I quite agree with Dr. Anita just now by the ending of her presentation with the word of heart touching that is stop the war, respected the audience. In the world that we are saying today, of course, everyone is looking for happiness and the success in our life. But education, hybrid learning, blended learning, flipped classroom integration learning is the way to bring us to meet our goal, our ultimate goal, that is happiness. At the same time, the student as well has to struggle very hard to meet the goal of each and individual. So we are facing today not crisis only the COVID pandemic of COVID-19, but who knows that political unrest in the future, it makes or bring or leads us to the violence. It is no one needs, no one hopes like what's being occurred in the Ukraine today and the Palestinians today. So being a human being, being an educator, being academicians, we try as much as possible to bring the world, to make the human being, to make the mankind, to meet the real happiness, to meet the real success. This is the ultimate goal of human being. Not everyone is struggling for ourselves, as mentioned in the Holy Quran. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. So we are born to serve the mankind, to be the example of the mankind, not just for our groups, not just for the family, but rahmatan lil alamin, for the mankind, for the human being, for the all creatures. And let's pray to Almighty God. Of course, we are in the field of education. We try to educate the people to be educated. But the essence of the educated is to bring the purity of the hearts of the people or the student to do a goodness, to prevent from the badness. So I pray, I convince, I encourage to all of respected audience, whether speakers and students. Let's pray so that the peace will be sustainable peace in this world again, in every part of the world. And this is idealistic and what I wanted to share with you. And I quite agree what has been presented by Dr. Maria according to the theoretically of the hybrid learning, and Dr. Intan from Malaysia and Dr. Anita from Indonesia. And thank you very much for giving me a chance to have to share experience in terms of hybrid education issues, opportunities, and challenging for the conference of the ISET 2022 today. And thank you very much. Thank you very much to the Dr. Tessino. Is it? Do I have this some time to speak?
Yeah. Okay. That will be question and answer.
Okay. Okay. Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Tolan, for really insightful and fruitful presentation this morning. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we come to our last and great speakers, Dr. Peter Ohiote. Let me read her biography. Dr. Peter Ohiote is a faculty member at English Education Program, Teacher Training Education Faculty, Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo. She has been teaching for many years at UMB, also Open University. He got PhD degree from Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta, Indonesia. Her research interests are about language teaching and cultures. Well, Dr. Titi, the floor is yours.
Okay, Pak Tessino, can you hear me?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for the chance given to me. Thanks for the collaboration sessions we have today in ICET 2022. Nice to meet you, all the great speakers, that we can share opinions for our improvement. Let me bring my ideas that I think it is different from yours, because I see the effect of hybrid learning. Can I share screen, Pak Tu?
Yes, good.
But I've not been the host.
Yeah. Can you try directly share the screen without being a co-host? Or you have become a co-host now.
Okay. Okay. Today I will deliver my speech on the pro cons of hybrid learning in intercultural education, seen from the Indonesian and Western cultural values. For the first, all the speakers have discussed about the hybrid learning. Then I don't think that it is important for you to know more about that, because from Dr. Intan, Dr. Anita, Dr. Maria, and Dr. Tolan also have discussed about it. Yeah, I just have this description from my observations about hybrid teaching and learning. It uses both online and offline teaching, and then also it needs teachers literacy on technology. The situations of the class will be more vivid, and the management of time is not good when it managed bad. Yeah, like the access which is poor or something else. The teacher's control to the student is limited. Yeah, the student's competence is not easy to be managed, and teacher's performance is challenging. The smart students enjoy the class well. But from my observations, especially on the online teaching, many times that students have no camera on because of the access, and also for the poor access for that. But the important reasons for doing hybrid learning is the pedagogy will be better, and it also increase and flexible because you can do it in the different space and also different time. Yeah, this also increase the cost benefit. Yeah, and then hybrid learning can overcome the limitations and differences in distance, time, and space between learners and instructors. And we will relate it to the intercultural educations, which is the phenomenon of interactions from the different religions, different cultures, speakers of different languages, which have the different opinions and also views. While intercultural education refers to the education training people able to appreciate different culture, which are set in a traditional society and therefore able to accept to evolve in contact with these cultures, so that this diversity cover become an asset enriching the cultural, social, and economic life of the environment. We know now we also have the intercultural educations because the speakers are from 4 countries here. And we have different ways of thinking maybe because of the culture. And intercultural education is complex of principles and practices related to the entire educational environment in all its components, oriented towards shaping through and for cultural diversity with the direct effect upon knowledge and positive appreciation of cultural differences, promoting equity in education and also equalization opportunities. From my experience in doing my class in my intercultural communications, we can see that hybrid learning seen from Indonesian cultural values. There are some values of Indonesians. Those are cooperation, friendliness, care, politeness, and tolerance. And first, we will see the cooperation from online. When we have online class, there is no cooperation in doing the task because many times we do it individually because of the, the students enjoy having online class, then they never come to the university. But in offline, they like doing the task together by having direct interactions. For friendliness, the online one, friendliness can be seen in the face. Mostly the students came off as the bad habits. The bad habits, they become the ghost students. Yeah. But in offline, the students keep their friendliness by using some utterances in discussing something. And then the cultural value, the third is care. In online, it mentions when the voice is unmuted, the care. The care means that you appreciate others who is talking. But in the offline, everyone cares about other students, not just in terms of expressions, but also behavior, because they have direct interactions. And then politeness. For the online class, the politeness can be seen from the language, but we can see the behavior, because they do not interact each other. And then in the offline, the behavior mentioned clearly because they also have to behave in handling the discussion. For example, when they discuss something, they always give time to give chance to others to discuss about something. And then the next one is tolerance. The online tolerance is mentioned when they have argumentations because of the limited space and time. Yeah. Okay, while for the online teachings in from Westerners' cultural values is from power distance. This is on the individualism and collectivism. The theory is from Hofstede, 1980, 1989, and 2005. The demand of being independence, all the students are independent, determining the choice of learning in terms of media or methods, creating the output of learning by having vlog, video, uploading YouTube or TikTok. And the second one is uncertainty avoidance. This is assumed that the result will be determined by our own discipline and plan. So the students who is very disciplined, then they will give a more successful one. But for the student who is indisciplined, then they will have a lower result. And then the next cultural values is masculinity versus femininity, because there is no gap between male and female. As far as they do hard for the work, they will have a good result. And then still on Westerners' cultural values, they have long-term and short-term orientations. Short-term orientations means that something happen here and now, that you can create what will be done in achieving the goals. But in long-term orientations, it will be well and detailed plan. The plan will be very detailed in the way of processing the goal. Yeah. And then the next one is high context and low context communications. The theory is from Hall, 1989. The communication is like to be interrupted, speak fast, do not consider others. This is the culture from Westerners, that they have high communications, means they speak fast and then they like to be interrupted. So it is okay for you to interrupt someone who is talking. Yeah, this not like Javanese manner, that you have to wait others speaking. After stop, then you can interrupt. And then the next cultural values is universalism and particularism. The theory is from Trompenaar, 1997, 2004. All students are the focus, not certain students. So all students have the same rights in the class. You can't choose one or two students because of the fame or the authority figure or because they are special students, but all the students have the same right. And then the next one is on monochronism and polychronism. This class will be on time, and also they have to do a work in one time. So on time, not doing 2 or 3 works in the same time, but focus on one work. And then the next one is on locus of control of free will and fate. Yeah. This proposed by Shore and Cross 2005. The result of learning is purely from the student's effort in the process itself and not because anything else. So the process does not betray the result. Yeah. And then the next one, I will conclude all the things when we do hybrid learning. I think hybrid learning is the combinations between online and offline teaching. Yeah. And then we can see from the descriptions from Indonesian cultural values and also Western cultural values, that judging from cultural values from an Indonesian and Western point of view, it turns out that online learning is not suitable for Indonesians, considering that Indonesia has more cultural values in terms of manners, but in terms of act, it is less based on our attitude towards other people. That's why it often happens in our online learning that ghost students, selfies, even chat with other friends without paying attention to the speakers. We were oftenly found. And then for Western cultural values, we can see that Western cultural values are more beneficial to online learning, given that they are individualistic, have power distance, more universalist, meaning indiscriminate, focus on one job or monochronist, and rely more on their own efforts in learning rather than putting everything on faith. Yeah. So we can see that differences between Indonesian and Westerners. Westerners dominant, this is just associations. Westerners dominant on online and then focus on monochronous, while Indonesians dominant on offline and focus on polychronous. Okay, thank you, Pak Tusino. This is just an opinion that you can have objection. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Titi, for very interesting presentation discussing hybrid learning in terms of cultures, intercultural communication. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions, you may raise your hand. But we have one question first, Dr. Tolan and also Dr. Titi. Maybe you can respond. Dr. Tolan first, or Dr. Tolan, I think first. From Pak Heru, okay. Dr. Heru, colleague teacher at Mathematics Education. One of the issues regarding online learning is honesty, integrity in taking tasks, assuming tasks are still needed, and increasing self-motivated learning. How to address it and what strategies are needed. I think this is for Dr. Tolan. And for Dr. Titi, the COVID-19 pandemic has changed many things. The way we study, work, habit, and more. What is the potential for hybrid learning after the pandemic is over? Will the future of education also change? Let alone seem everywhere talking about the metaverse, the third or fourth generation web. How do universities need to prepare for this challenge? Is it necessary to migrate to digital campus alongside conventional classroom? Okay, Dr. Tolan.
Yes, Brother Tusino, can you repeat my question once again, please?
Yeah, okay, I'm going to read in the chat box. You can read also in the chat box. One of the issues regarding online learning is honesty, integrity in taking tasks, assuming tasks are still needed, and increasing self-motivated learning. How to address it and what strategies are needed, especially for the integrity and honesty in taking the task during the online learning.
Okay, thank you very much. That's a good question. Okay, and the difference between textbook, is it, and online?
Yeah, especially the online test by seeing the integrity and honesty of the students. So mostly students just browse from the internet.
Okay. My topic is that the solution of the modern education, that is, we are facing in the crisis situation, and in fact, the learning management should be conducted. There must be interaction between teacher and learner. Then we will expect the efficiency of the learner to the effectiveness, and this is the what is called the amendment, the solution for a short term, for a short time. It's not permanently that we are going to learn. We are conducting the online for longer, and some specific subject that should be conducted on site. Okay, but still, as we are in the crisis, even whatever crisis of pandemic, COVID-19, climate changes, or political unrest, or war, or this is the worst thing that we hope that will never happen to us. The education must move forward, and the hybrid or online can do some specific, some part of learning management, but still on-site education must be conducted for a specific subject, like a practicum, like a engineering, like a mechanism, and as well. And this is hybrid learning, okay, can be conducted, but not fully fulfilled in the terms of educations. But main thing is that I believe that education, we will expect the effectiveness, efficiency of education. There must be interaction between teacher and learner. Then we will expect by conducting on-site, teacher will observe the attitude of the students. Teacher will correct the mindset, the behavior of the student on the spot. But online, we cannot, teacher from teacher side cannot observe, cannot correct the behavior of the student on the spot. So the effectiveness and efficiency that we will expect on online. This is my point of view. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for really fruitful answer, Dr. Tolan. Dr. Titi, could you add some more?
Okay. Thank you for the questions, Pak Heru. I think because of our output of learning is on the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor, I think the conventional classroom still have an important thing. Like Dr. Tolan said, that we have to create new behavior or attitude to the students, that some of the subjects maybe can be fulfill the target if we just have online. So I agree to have hybrid learning, online and offline, not just online. Although the demand of the nowadays, we have to have online, but offline is still important, I think. So the hybrid learning is important to do for the certain subjects, because we have to have online class, also offline class. And also when we consider about the output of learning on the knowledge, skills, and behavior that can be measured just having online class. Okay, thank you, Pak Tusino.
Thank you, Dr. Titi, for really wonderful answer. Well, I think I give a chance for one question for this participant who are going to directly give questions orally directly. Is there anyone here? Okay, I think I got Miss Sahada Al-Batiatul Karimah. If I'm not mistaken, she is a former student from UM. They also become faculty in Jakarta University. Okay, I think the floor is yours now.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, Mr. Tusino, Bu Peter Ohiote, Bu Anita, and all of my lecturer in University, Muhammadiyah University of Purworejo, and also for the keynote speaker here, Madam Dr. Maria, Dr. Anita Sazuli, and then Dr. Tolan. Okay, actually, I have two questions, sir. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, okay, no problem.
So sorry. Okay, I have two questions, but my first question is for Dr. Anita that comes from Muhammadiyah University of Purworejo.
Okay.
Okay, it is regarding to the ministry program of Indonesia, yeah, Minister of Education and Culture. If I'm not making a mistake, yeah, it is the program of independent learning and independent campus or MBKM, Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka. So my simple questions is, what is the best strategy to collaborate between MBKM program to the hybrid entrepreneur? How to collaborate both of them together? And my second question is for Dr. Tolan and Dr. Peter Ohiote. Actually, during the new normal era or after pandemic COVID-19, yeah, we taught on a hybrid learning in which some students were present in a class and some others do online class from Zoom or Google Meet. But to be honest, I find it a little difficult, yeah, because I have to divide my focus during the students in the class and the students in the online Zoom. And I think it's so challenging, yeah, especially when there are some students who complain about the network or the signal during the learning process, because some of my students also live in a remote areas, especially for the another island, Sumatra or maybe Sulawesi and etc. So, and again, my question is, what is the best strategy when dealing with that problems? And also, what is the best method for both of you, Dr. Tolan and Dr. Peter Ohiote, to divide my focus as the educators, so I can feel that my students get a fair attention from me, fair attentions between the students in class and the students in the online class. So yeah, that is my simple questions. Thank you so much for the keynote speakers. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Okay, thank you. Well, I think Bu Anita first or Dr. Tolan first to respond to the question. Thank you, Sahada, for the questions. Dr. Anita is here.
I give a chance to Titi.
Okay, Dr. Titi first. Could you respond for the question, especially the best strategy or the best method for teaching, the combination between the online and the offline learning at the same time?
Okay, is it my turn, Pak Tusino?
Yes, okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Shahada is my ex-students who is very smart, yeah. Hello, Shahada. Yeah, thanks for the questions. Yeah. I know that it is difficult to have hybrid learning, yeah, hybrid teaching, because this is work for the teachers that have to prepare the materials either online and offline. So you must work harder for that, yeah. So for example, you have to prepare, for example, like module or media for being used in the online teaching and also in offline teaching. So the result will be the same. The measurement of the result will be the same. So the material, I think that you have to consider to make, yeah, Shahada. Although I know that it will consumes your time also, your energy to make the media. Yeah, that's my answer, Pak Tusino.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, okay, Dr. Tolan, could you respond for the questions?
From me myself.
No, Dr. Tolan, could you respond for
Okay, in additional of the Dr. Titi Ohiote, okay, and that's a good question from the students. And we are facing such a same problem. It's not considered as a problem, okay? The same issue that as I am the director of the demonstration school under the University of Yala Rajpat University, as a laboratory of the Faculty of Education, okay? And now we are conducting the same thing that Shahada just asked just now. a part of student are online and some part are offline or in the class as a hybrid, okay? And the student facing that the fruitful cannot expect as study in the classroom. So the solution is that I tell the students that from online student, try to keep in touch with your teacher. Try to interact. Now you have Line, you have WhatsApp, you have everything. It is easy for communicative a way to contact to the teacher. And don't let the gap between do not understanding or between the student and teacher to be a big gap. Don't let the gap to be occurred. Try to keep in touch. Once you do not understand, once you have a clue, just ask the teacher directly. This is the best way. And also in our doctrine, fas'alu ahla dzikr in kuntum la ta'lamun. Just ask for fa. This is the other word. Just ask the teacher, ask the person, ask who know that if you do not know something. This is the best, this is the doctrine, this is the principle, what I implement to the teachers, to the demonstration school and the college in the faculty member also. This is the my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the answer, Dr. Tolan, and also Dr. Sahada. Okay, well, yeah, candidate of doctor. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are coming to end of the discussion due to the time is going to be over. So before coming to the next program, I give all the speakers 1 minute to speak, starting from Dr. Maria, Dr. Intan, Dr. Anita to give us closing statement, Dr. Tolan, and the last Dr. Titi, 1 minute each for each speakers. Okay, starting from Dr. Maria, please.
Okay, thank you. For my closing statement, hybrid learning in higher education is our best option right now. So with that, we as educators, we have to continue we have to have an individual goal. We have to treat our young learners with recognizing them as they have limited capacity. So being educators, we have to take our role seriously as teachers. Students' capacity and interest to learn also lies on our way of doing our instructions. So we have to fully commit on that. Hybrid learning offers us to become more adventurous, strategically maximize instruction by using the available digital resources, making it more interesting to students. So let us do our best. Let us impart to our students and let us make them realize that we are doing this because this is our best option right now in order to safeguard them and also us as instructors. School administrators must also be proactive in providing the need of both the teachers and the students. I believe there will always be a way to provide strong internet connectivity with the help of the school administrators and the technology that we both need, the instructors and the students. The government, as I've mentioned on my presentation, should also be proactive on this. Probably there should be more specific appropriation for funding requirement so that the students are more encouraged to attend their classes, because there is a subsidy that is coming from the government in acquiring the gadget that they need.
Okay.
So in this way, maximizing the potential offered by the hybrid learning educational method, it allows us to continue to maximize, produce high quality graduates in the tertiary level. We can still produce top-notch engineers, teachers, future teachers, nurses, entrepreneurs, business runners of the economy with the effective hybrid learning that we have now. Thank you, and again, good morning.
Thank you, Dr. Maria, for the closing statement. Dr. Intan,
Okay,
1 minute, please.
Thank you. For me, I think the lecturers needs to consider a lot of the humanizing factors into their teaching, right? And for students, I would say, don't worry, you are in the hands of experts here. Your lecturers are all very technology savvy, so nothing to worry about all this. What is needed from you is just a lot of self-heuristic and self-synergy kind of efforts, we are all in this together, but as students, you too need to play a role in making and ensuring this as a success. All right. So thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Intan. Wow. Dr. Anita, please.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kusina. I want to add thank you for Saada. We are together at the State University of Semarang. I'm very proud of you. About hybrid learning is very suitable to MPKM, where it can reach all students everywhere, because it will give everyone to opportunity to learn and give all students to opportunity to use technology as a learning medium. So, first statement from me, based on Kolb's theory, that's learning requires experiment, foundation. In entrepreneurship courses, hybrid learning is needed using digital marketing to show the result of their product. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anita. Dr. Tolan,
Okay,
floor is yours.
thank you once again, and thank you, Dr. Tusino, that invited me to be a part of this conference. And by landslide, by very emergency, I accept to come to be the speaker of this conference. And the differences is not a source of violence. Actually, the differences is a source of knowing to each other and bring the goodness from others to apply on us. This is the differences that hikmah of wisdom of Almighty God created us in difference, whether in skin or in tradition or language, and this is a good thing. And I happy to be here, and hopefully next time we will be able to participate on site conference so that we can have interaction face to face, and we will get many things more beside the conference. And today is a beginning of the friendships and relationship between educators, and hopefully we will keep in touch and make the world to be livable and be more peaceful. And lastly, we will get the peace in our heart and bring the peace to everywhere, to the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the great closing statement. Dr. Titi, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. I also have many thanks to all the committee and also all the great speakers, Dr. Tolan, Dr. Maria Joy, Dr. Intan, and also Dr. Anita, who have given us inspiring ideas and opinion And I think hybrid learning is good, but don't leave the culture, especially the behavior of the students. And it demands hard work both from teacher and students, but you have to keep the spirit. God helps those who help themselves. Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you very much to all the great speakers this morning. Big applause to all the great speakers this morning. Thank you. From Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, and Philippines. Well, as a moderator, I just conclude that as teachers and also as students, we have to combine between both the technology and pedagogy of learning. So technology and pedagogy are highly needed when implementing not only online, offline, and also hybrid learning. Thank you very much to all the speakers and to all distinguished participants, hoping that we can meet another program. That's for me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
The
wabarakatuh.
wonderful presentations, and thank you very much, Dr. Tusino, for being a great moderator today. As a token of our appreciation for their time and their valuable contributions of the speakers, the certificates are rewarded to Dr. Maria Joyce Iglesia Idia from Camarines or Polytechnic Colleges, Philippines. Dr. Tengku Intan Zuzila Tengku Syarif from University Teknologi Maret, Pahang, Malaysia. Dr. Anita Rinawati, Magister Pendidikan from Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo, Indonesia. Assistant Professor Dr. Muhammad Tolan Kaima from Yala Rajabat University, Thailand. And Dr. Peter Ohiote, Magister Pendidikan from Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo, Indonesia.
Thank you.
Well, for all participants, please check on the chat box because the attendance list will be shared after this. Participants, ladies and gentlemen, to close this program, we are pleased to have the Vice Rector of Operational Affairs of Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo to deliver the closing remarks. Please welcome Mrs. Tri Ermayani, Magister Agama.
Oke, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, nahmadu wa nasta'in ala umuri dunya waddin. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu rasuluh. Allahumma shalli wa sallim wa barik ala nabiyyina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Good luck to all of us. Your Excellency President of Camarines Polytechnic College, Philippines. Your Excellency Rector of University Teknologi Maret, Pahang, Malaysia. Your Excellency President of Yala Rajabat University Thailand. Your Excellency Rector Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo. The Honorable all speakers from University Muhammadiyah Purworejo, Camarines Polytechnic College, Maret University of Teknologi Malaysia, and Yala Rajabat University Thailand. And the Honorable all participants, International Conference, the Education and Technology 2022, wherever you are. Praise and gratitude. We always pray the presence of God Almighty for His gifts so that we are given the opportunity and convenience to this day, especially the agenda of the International Conference on Education and Technology 2022 today can be heard smoothly and orderly. From the presenters and the material presented by the 5 speakers, it was a very interesting and extraordinary achievement. We hope that in the future, this kind of collaboration will continue and be further developed in the form of research collaboration, of course, so that it can boost the reputation, progress, and development of each study program by each university. And our thanks to Dr. Maria from CSPC Philippines. Thank you, Dr. Tengku Intan Susila from University Teknologi Mara, Malaysia. Thank you, Dr. Titi Ohiote. Thank you, Dr. Anita Rinawati from Universitas Muhammadiyah Purworejo. And thank you for Assistant Professor Dr. Muhammad Tolan Kaimah from Yala Rajabat University, Thailand, for sharing his extraordinary knowledge and experience. The final World International Conference on Education and Technology 2022 by the hybrid learning in higher education. We close by saying Hamdalah, Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Thank you. Best regards. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Thank you very much,
warahmatullahi
Mrs. Irma, for the wonderful closing remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have to take pictures of this great conference. So please turn your video on. Maybe we will need some few moments because there are 11 screens. Wow. Mas Bayu, please help me to get the picture of each screen. Okay. Please, dear participants, turn your video on. Thank you. For Mas Bayu, I will count down and please take the first screen. 3, 2, 1. Second screen. 3, 2, 1. Third screen. 3, 2, 1. Fourth screen. Yes, 3, 2, 1. Fifth, yes, 3, 2, 1. Sixth screen. 3, 2, 1. Seventh. 3, 2, 1. 8. 3, 2, 1. Ninth. 3, 2, 1. 10th. 3, 2, 1. And last but not least, the 11th screen. 3, 2, 1. Wow, you are really great participants. And now we have come to the very end of the ICET 2022. On behalf of the committee, we would like to extend once again our deepest appreciation for all of you, the educators, lecturers, and students from 4 countries for your support and participation. We wish you enjoy this exciting international conference on education and technology 2022 and stay safe and stay healthy. See you on our next agenda. Thank you. Sampai jumpa. Salam. Lakonka. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Bye bye. ขอบคุณครับ
Lakonka.
Thank you, sir, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much to all the speakers, the participants. Thank you, Dr. Maria, for your help. Thank you, Dr. Intan, for your great assistance. Dr. Tolan, terima kasih for your help.
Sama-sama.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice day to everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Maria.
And if you have a chance, please come to Thailand, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very much. After pandemic, we will do that.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you.
Okay. And by the next two months, we will organize international conference from the Faculty of Education also by online. But hopefully after pandemic, okay, when the country is open, please come on site. We
Yes, please. Yes, yes, sir.
to greet you,
Thank
speaker, teacher, and students. Okay, bye. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you, Dr. Tolan.
Thank you.
Best Bu Titi.
Yeah.
Best Bu Titi,
Yeah,
Bu
thank you, Dr.
Anita.
Jane and Jay from CSTC.
Ini tinggal panitia ini Pak Tusino. Tinggal panitianya ini.
Bu, izin.
Ya. Makasih,
Ya,
Syahada.
terima kasih semuanya.
Lega Bu Titi.
Pak Tusino.
Lega Bu Titi. Lega Bu Anita. Pak Tusino.
Thank you,
Puspa,
Berna, for your great
the best
support.
Puspa.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you,
Puspa.
Pak Agus.
Yes,
Thank you,
you are the
Berna.
best.
All the
Rana, please.
audiences.
Thank you, Bu Anita. Thank you, Bu Titi.
Anita,
Really great and inspiring.
The series ya Bu Anita ya. The series ya.
The first launching for Bu Anita.
Ya.
The boot.
Thank you Pak
Dr.
Purhadi.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Jane.
Operator Mas Bayu, Pak Purhadi. Thank you.
Thank you untuk materi.
Yeah, the material will be sent to your email and also the
Bisa diadakan
link.
lagi.
Insya Allah.
YouTube link.
Pak Agus, makasih Pak Agus. Bu Anita, I'm coming to campus ya.